Okay, so hello YouTube, welcome back. Yeah, what I have in front of you, well, in front of me, is this. Now the noise you hear in the background is my little heater because it's freezing in here. Anyway, what I have in front of me are these CDJs, and this is a CDJ-900. This is supposedly a beast. Unfortunately, the pitch on this one and this one as well, it's not working. So I bought the new ones and I bought original ones. I waited for a goddamn month for this. Seriously, 1 month for a couple of faders, and I did actually bought a new laser. So I'll be showing you how to replace it, and this should be quite easy, at least the pitch part. And I will be testing everything in the end. I do want to know whether you can actually scratch on this thing or not. I mean, I assume you can. These are beasts. If you wish to see me scratching, well, fast forward till the end of the video, and if you wish to see it opened and this thing replaced and repaired, well, let's do it. Every Pioneer has a couple of main screws, so let's unscrew it. And once you remove these screws, you will be probably able to remove the top. So let's do that. Okay. So 2 more screws in here. These ones are big ones. And 1 more in here, and I believe that we will be actually able to remove the top parts. Oh no. There are 2 more screws in here, so, and there are arrows, so obviously these need to be removed. Now one of these guys has a faulty laser, which I will be testing later on. Unfortunately, I'm not sure which one. So, okay. And yeah, straightforward. There is some actually spider web in here. Oh well. This is a pretty neat piece of technology. So, let's see how to remove the pitch. There are a couple of screws in here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 screws. Let's unscrew these and let's see whether this will do the trick or not. I think it should. Okay. So 3 more screws. These screws in here are of the same size, so there is really no need for them to put them in another stack or something. Okay, now there is 1 more screw in here, which is holding this metal part, and this should fairly easy come off. Yeah, I was right actually. And you can actually pull this thing out. Okay. And there you have it, there's your pitch. And this thing actually has, I believe somebody was smoking in here. This is dirty as hell. Okay, so let's unsolder this pitch. This is actually quite easy to replace. Okay, so this is one. Okay. This is pitch as well. Okay. Okay. And the 2 contacts in here, and actually you don't need to desolder these 2. These are the contacts and these are the contacts. Oh well, you learn something new every day. Okay. And these 2, so I will be resoldering these 2 contacts because well, I was an idiot. Well, the good thing is I'm good at soldering, so at least that's something. Okay. So this should be it, probably. I'm assuming this should be it. Now I do need to, well, unbend this somehow. Okay. And this thing as well. Okay. And there you have it, the pitch came off. So let's install a new one. These buttons are usually a thing that fails first. But this CD player was rented, so unfortunately the people that rent CD players don't care about technology because, well, it's not theirs. So what can you do? I do not rent my turntables or my CDJs because, well, people, so yeah. Okay, so let's resolder this thing, and this should be quite easy actually. So and there you have it, the pitch has been replaced. And this is a brand new pitch. How awesome is that, right? And this one goes, well, to the toilet. I'm just kidding. Also, let me show you one more thing actually. For example, if you're scratching and this thing is a bit too heavy, you can actually unscrew this screw over here and remove this thing to another position. So you have here numbers 0, -1, -2, -3, -4, etc. +1, +2. And if you wanted to make it this jog to turn easy or, well, harder, then you can just move this thing. Okay, I will be screwing this thing back together and, well, doing the same thing with the other CDJ. And after I do that, I do need to see which CDJ is the one that has a faulty laser. Okay, you know what? I want to screw everything back together. Well, I will screw this part, but not everything back together, just in case that this one has a faulty laser. So again, I'm placing those screws back. So there are basically 9 screws, so you can't actually fail much. Now, I do apologize for this weird angle, but these players are freaking huge and I don't know where to put the camera, so did I install this? Yes, okay. So I do need a power cable. And, well, I do need a CD. Interesting. Now the funny thing is, if I do connect the power, I need to disconnect the camera. And my camera is ironically, just as every YouTuber has the same problem, my one is out of batteries as well. So yeah, okay, I'll go and get a CD. So yeah, Metallica's Black Album, okay. I will be disconnecting the power supply just for a moment and trying to see whether this thing will explode or work. Okay, it's on. Now whether you can see it or not, no disc. So this CD player does seem to work, and again Peachy is working as well, and as it should. So yeah, let's start the track 5. And is this thing playing? Do we need a CDJ mode? Yeah, vinyl mode. Yeah, so this thing is working, and I will be putting everything back together, doing the same thing with the other one, except I will be showing you how to change. So, funny thing, I actually found this thing to be well, extra, and yeah, it's not extra, it is plastic that that is for this standby light, and yeah, it is from the CDJ that I closed entirely, so there is something to keep in mind. So at the moment I will be replacing the laser, and there are a couple of screws I will be removing. Unfortunately, I already started removing screws and I did not press record, but there are 2 screws, 3 screws, 1 and 3 screws. So I will be unscrewing everything and seeing what's actually inside. And my heater just turned on, it means that it got bloody cold again. Okay. I will be unscrewing these 4 screws as well, because I think I have an idea of how to remove this thing, so it might even be that easy with only 4 screws. We'll see. So 4 screws, and there are a couple of hinges in here, and 2 and 2, which you need to pull. So let's say this one and this one, and pull it a bit up, and this one and this one, and pull it a bit up, and basically the entire mechanism comes off. So now you can remove the laser using, well, unscrewing this part in here and replacing it. So that is what I will be doing. And yeah, so there are 2 screws which hold this, and let's open it. And I need to pull this thing, and basically you can now, I believe, oh come on, do you need to remove them both? Seriously? Okay. And there is a, well, this is pushing the screw up, interesting. So pull this one out as well, and so yeah, and there you have it. I have removed the laser. Now whether I will be putting it back together, that is a completely different story. So let's open it, and I will probably need to oh boy, this is closed on so many levels. There will be probably a part that you will need to unsolder in order for this thing to work. And as you can see, this thing in red should be removed in here, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, as you can see, There are no contacts between, and you need to desolder these contacts in order for laser to work. Otherwise it will not work. So yeah, now I will be needing to, well, remove the plastic and everything, so let's do that. Okay, so, oh my God, let's see. Okay, there is one screw in here underneath this gunk, which I am assuming is there. Well, not to open. Maybe this one will do the trick. Yes, it will. So there is that one screw. Seriously, only one screw. Awesome. Okay, and I will be disconnecting this just by pulling it. And yeah, seriously. Oh no, this is one more thing, you need to remove this metal part. Okay. But before I actually screw this thing, I will be doing this, because this was in the original, and this should be in here as well. So let's screw this thing back. It's actually quite easy to screw it back. Okay, and this part also needs to be, boy, this gunk is strong. This part also needs to be unscrewed. Okay. So let's screw this part. Okay, so the last thing I will be doing is desoldering this, and that is pretty much it. Okay, so I have unsoldered this, and this laser is actually ready to work, well, to be put back in place. Now, when you unscrew this screw that holds the laser, there is a plastic, and you should, when you screw it back in, you should screw until you reach this plastic, because then these parts that hold the laser will be, well, in a straight level. Oh bloody hell, 600 messages. So I will be placing this thing back. And just to show you, this part is actually, this is the way it goes. So, okay. Oh, seriously. It's never that easy. But okay. Okay, and this thing in here and downwards, and this should be it. I think so anyway. Okay. Okay. Now this part. And I do need to find, so this screw and this spring. So let me put this spring where it was before. Okay. Sorry for the messages. Okay. This thing goes in here, and this should be in here. So let's screw this thing back as well. Okay, so yeah, some effort later, and yeah, this is it. So just to show you what I meant, as you can see, I have screwed this until it reached this metal, and in here as well. Maybe I can unscrew it a bit. Yeah, that's okay. So yeah, so the next thing I will be doing is connecting this thing and see whether this laser actually works or not, or if I got a dud. So yeah, if I got a dud, that would not be okay. True story. So let's put this thing back together. Now the problem that I have is when I opened this thing fell off, and I'm not quite sure from where. So after unscrewing the one that works, I found where this thing goes. It goes in here. I'm not quite sure what's it for, but it should be in here. So there you have it, so that you don't make my mistake. Oh, we'll see. Everything gets put into place eventually. After you have opened so many computer parts and whatnot, everything finds its rightful place. Let's put these screws back together, and let's see whether this thing actually works or not. But yeah, where did this thing come from? I really don't know. So let's connect the laser. Alright, I can actually screw this thing back together as well. I will be needing this part at the bottom. Now, interestingly enough, this thing arrived with different screws, so either somebody was repairing it or somebody fucked up something. I'm not quite sure. But wait. Oh yeah. Okay. Oh, and by the way, these three screws, 1, 2, and 3, are different because they go into plastic, so they are the longer ones. You know what I need? This screwdriver. This is a bad motherfucker. Okay. This is a BMF. But I think this should work. As I said, unless I got a dud from Pioneer, but they usually don't sell crap, so. And as I said, usually. So nobody actually took care of this little device, and that's why it's not working now. One of my screws fell and I do need to find it. Just a second. So some heat shrink is on the floor as well. I was repairing a power supply the other day and it stayed in here. So, you know what, let's put this upper part and let's see whether this laser is now working or not. So I will be disconnecting my camera's power, which will then tell me that my battery is empty, because it always does. Okay. So Pioneer, no disc. Well, that's okay, because, well, I don't have any disc inside. Moment of truth. Alrighty. Let's see whether it will play. So, to put everything back together, there are two long screws that go in here, two short black screws that go in here, and a couple of white screws that go in here and in here, and well, on the other sides as well. Okay. Now, since all of the CDJs are working, we'll be actually testing them to see just how good they actually are. Now, bear in mind, I'm not the greatest DJ on the planet, so obviously I won't do them that much justice, but I will be testing them as in any case. So, there you have it. Okay, so we're ready to test this thing actually, and I have some USB stick with some samples. I did try to connect via USB, but sound just didn't work, and then it did, but whatever. Anyway, it is working. Database, fuck off, I don't care about folder, DJ tools. So, let's see whether this thing actually works or not. So it does work. Let's give it a bit of how should I say, a sample, I suppose. Okay. And so I made this thing into loop due to copyright and whatnot.
Spin the record back and forth, back and forth, forth.
And there you have it, repaired. Okay, see you next time, I suppose.